There's not much that goes together better than steaks and butter, but I would be willing to bet that most of you have probably never used them together in this way. I'm gonna show you something really special you can do to take an ordinary steak like this on sale from your local grocery store, some cheap butter, and turn it into something really special that is worth a little time and a little effort. And the best part is, you don't need any special equipment to do this other than a refrigerator and a little baking sheet just like this. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this incredible grill today. I'm going to tell you all about it and how to use a grill of any kind to get the best possible cook on your steak. Let's go ahead and get this butter and steak experiment going and throw it on this incredible grill I'm going to tell you all about today on Chris Cookin' Nashville. So this grill is going to do an incredible job. I've got it preheating, ready to go, because preheating your grill is step number one to getting proper color on the outside of your steaks. Before we actually start cooking these steaks though, we're gonna do something really special. I need to put 2 sticks of butter into the microwave to melt. You could also do this on the stovetop, however. We need 1 stick per steak of melted butter, and you can do this with any kind of steak you want. I just happen to have New York strips, but it's entirely up to you which kind of steak you want to use. Now that my butter is melted, I'm going to show you how we do some incredible butter dry aged steaks, and shout out to Guga Foods and Sous Vide Everything for being the first person who ever taught me that you could use animal fats like this to dry age regular steaks like this in your home refrigerator. Thank you, Guga, for everything that you have done to teach me how to cook the way that I do. Now, I know a bunch of you are saying, well, wait a minute, if you're aging steaks, why is your grill preheating? Don't worry, I already have some steaks that have been aged that are ready to go on the grill, and I'm about to show you what I did to these 1 month ago. You can see there is a massive difference in the way they look, and that's exactly the way it is supposed to be with an aged steak. So we are going to completely encapsulate these steaks in butter, and they are going to go in a refrigerator and sit that way for at least 3 weeks, but ideally 28 to 30 days is best. You're going to get the beefiest flavor, the most tender steak, and from that point on, making an amazing steak becomes very simple if you use the right techniques on the grill or in a pan, however you want to do it. And I'm about to show you exactly what that takes on this grill outside. So before we put these steaks on the baking sheet, I need to put down a thin layer of melted butter. That's going to be just enough to cover the bottoms of the steaks. I'm going to lay those into this melted butter and push down just to make sure that they are making solid contact. Now, these steaks are nice and cold, so that once these go in the refrigerator with the butter on them, the butter is already solidified so that it creates that encapsulating layer on the outside. And that's going to protect the steak from the air all around it, which is going to keep it from drying out and getting to where there's no edible meat left. It's also going to protect the meat from outside contaminants, so you don't have to worry about anything growing on the outside of your steak. Might be a good idea to wear gloves. I washed my hands really well, but either way, be careful you don't contaminate your steak before you pour butter on. Now all we have to do is pour melted butter over top of these steaks, and make sure to use a brush or something to bring it up the sides of the steaks as well, so we get a complete 360 degree, all directions coating of butter on the outside of these steaks. It's as simple as that, and then we slide it in any refrigerator for at least 28 days before we pull it out and peel that butter off. And then I'll show you what we do next. Let's go ahead and get these coated in butter. So here are our steaks coated in butter, and this is what's going to go into the refrigerator for 28 days. Now I already did this to these other two steaks and then peeled the butter off of the outside, which is easy to do because it's been in the refrigerator and that butter hardens down. Make sure you have a really good coating because this turns into this in 28 days. These are much darker, and I went ahead and salted them, stuck them in the refrigerator uncovered like this for several hours so that they could lightly dry brine. Overnight would be even better, but we've got a grill preheating that I need to go ahead and show you how to use to cook these steaks perfectly. They have already been seasoned. We can add pepper later on. I'm not going to do that beforehand because the grill would cause that to burn and get bitter. So we'll do that at the very end. We're going to go ahead and take these outside and we're going to grill up some steaks and show you this incredible piece of machinery. I know it's a propane grill, but it's really cool and it does a really good job. And I'm really excited for you to see how these steaks look when they're done. Let's go ahead and go outside, hop out into the backyard of the Crust Cooking Nashville kitchen, and let's grill up some steaks, and I'll tell you how to use a grill to get them done exactly right.
All right, before we get these butter-aged steaks on the fire, let me show you the grill we're cooking on today. This is the Electactic G31 Pro propane gas grill, and this is the full-size 3+1 burner model. So this thing puts out 34,000 BTUs total. That's 3 main burners at 8,000 BTUs each, plus a 10,000 BTU side burner, which gives you a ton of flexibility whether you're searing steaks, cooking sides, or running sauces at the same time for those delicious steaks. Each burner has its own independent stainless steel control knobs. You can dial in your heat exactly where you want it. This is really going to come in handy later. And you've got a built-in thermometer right here, so you're always tracking what's happening inside the grill. And we're definitely going to use that today as well. Startup is simple, just a push-button ignition, no messing around, no fuss, and there is a little holder for a match, just in case you would need that as well to start it. The whole grill is full stainless steel, so it's built to handle heat and weather long term, and you've got thick cast iron grates for really serious heat retention and clean sear marks. I'm going to show you how to get those. Plus, there's actually a non-stick griddle surface for extra versatility if you want to do something like some sliced onions as well. I also love these little practical touches like the side table and the tool hooks over here so you can keep everything handy. There's also heat resistant handles and enough space to actually work without juggling everything in your hands the entire time. It rolls easily on locking swivel wheels so you can move it around when you need to, but it stays planted while you're cooking. And cleanup is super straightforward too. There's a removable grease tray in the back here, detachable grates, nothing complicated, and mine needs a good cleaning because I've been using it a whole bunch lately. So whether you're cooking for families, game days, or doing some more serious grilling like we are here today, this is a solid, full-size propane grill that gives you power, control, and room to work. I'll have the link to the Electactic G31 Pro propane gas grill down in the description if you want to check it out, and you guys need to go check this out.
All right, so the thermometer of our grill here is reading about 550 degrees. That's fantastic. It's preheated. There's 2 stages in cooking a steak on a grill like this. First, we have to get the grill marks that we've all become accustomed to seeing. So we're going to do that right now with the temperature really high. Then we're going to worry about cooking the steak through and getting it exactly right. I have a temperature probe in one of my steaks over here just to make sure. If you don't have a temperature probe, you can use this little hand trick that I've talked about before. Drop it in the comments if you would like to know what that is. I'd be glad to tell you. We're going to go ahead and put these on. We're going to color both sides, and then I'm going to show you how we can use the adjustable temperature knobs down here for the 3 individual burners to give ourselves a warm oven sort of a situation where we can cook the steak through perfectly, but still get that nice color on the outside and not cause any burn marks that are too dark black. So we're going to lift our lid and we're going to very carefully place our steaks on the grill. This would be a great time if you want, brush a little beef tallow or bacon grease like I did. We're going to get some really nice grill marks, and you should hear a sizzle when they go on the grill. If you do not, pull them back off immediately and make sure that you are preheating your grill longer. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of downward pressure. That's going to give us really nice contact with those grates of the grill. Shout out to Mama and Papa Nashville for the grill kit with all the grill tools they got me for Christmas this year, by the way. Now this is the hard part of grilling. Put the lid down and don't mess with the steaks. Let them crust, let them release naturally from the grill grate, and we're going to turn them a 45-degree turn to get that cross-hatched grill look here shortly. So about 1.5 to 2 minutes in, as long as our grill is properly preheated, we should be able to make our 45-degree turn. Carefully pull up the steak. See the nice grill marks? That's what we're looking for. So we're going to turn it 45 degrees to get our typical grill crosshatch look. Press down again, make sure we've got good contact. Back down with the lid. So about 3 to 4 minutes on a side should be plenty, and especially if you start getting flare-ups like that as the fat renders out, go ahead and move it, and then we're going to flip to the other side, but you can see those beautiful cross-hatch grill marks we're looking for. One of the coolest things is this grill because it has individual sections that I can control with the temperatures individually. If I get a flare-up, not a problem. I'm just going to move it over to this side and cook it over this one while that dies out. Put some pressure down, get our nice grill marks again, and back down it goes. And again, 1 to 2 minutes in, we're going to give it that 45-degree turn, and as you can see, we're getting our nice grill marks on that side as well. Lid goes back down. Now, we're about done trying to get the Maillard reaction color, the grill marks on the outside of the steak. That is flavor because the glucose molecules within meat, yes, there is a little bit of glucose molecules in meat, is caramelizing. That's exactly what this grill is trying to do for us. It's really powerful, it's very hot, and it's giving us those grill marks because that flavor is what we look for in a steak. But we have to be careful because getting that flavor, we can either go a little too far and it starts tasting like charcoal when we're actually eating the black bits on it, and that's not good. Or we can end up overcooking the steak trying to get those marks. So here's what we're going to do. After these are done coloring on both sides, I'm actually going to lift them up to the higher level of this grill that I'll show you here in a second. I'm going to leave the lid closed and we're going to start monitoring the internal temperature, but cooking the steaks further away from the flame. This is a more indirect way of cooking. And then we're actually going to turn the grill off 10 degrees before we actually want to stop cooking. And this is called resting up. It's something that Michelin star restaurants do with steaks. They actually cook the color on the steak that they want, then they rest it in a warm place until it hits the internal temperature they want, but it's not cooking anymore. That is how they get them so perfect every single time, and they have it timed perfectly to know exactly how to do it every single time. Yours might take a little bit of experimentation, but that is a way you can use a grill to not only get a perfect color on the outside and a little bit of that nice char flavor we like, but you can also track the internal temperature of your steak perfectly, and this becomes even easier if you have a probe thermometer instead of using the hand trick that I'm talking about, but you can do it either way. Let's get the color finished on these, and then I'll move them up, and we'll talk about exactly where I'm cooking them to before I turn off the grill. So about 3 to 4 minutes on that side as well, and the color of our steaks should be good to go. Look at the beautiful grill marks on that steak. Nice and golden brown, exactly the way we like it. Now I'm going to move these to this upper level of the grill. So it is still over the heat, but it is not cooking nearly as directly. And that's really important because what we're going to do now is close the lid, and we're going to use this more like an oven, and we're going to slowly get the heat through the steak so we don't end up with a big thick ring that is overcooked steak and then a red center that is undercooked where you would like it to really be. Once we get this up to about 10 degrees below where I want to stop it, I'm going to turn off the grill and we're going to do that rest up. So I'm going to take this to about 120, and then I'm going to turn off the grill and let it rest up to 130, pull it off the grill, and carryover cooking will take it up to about 135. I may actually pull it at 128 just to give myself a little bit of buffer. That's how you get it cooked through, and you don't overcook your steak, because by the time it rests on the plate, it will cook more than when it comes off the grill. So we're going to take it off at 127 to 128 degrees, and it just hit 120. So I'm going to turn off the grill and we're going to let it rest up to temperature. All right, we're going to pull our steaks off. We're going to rest them and let them level out their temperatures. My probe thermometer is letting me know we're ready to go. These look and smell fantastic. I cannot wait to taste these and show you what they look like when we cut them open. You ready to taste this?
Yes.
Let's
I've
do
been
it.
waiting, yes.
Let's do it.
My job is so hard some days, y'all.
I have to say, I walked in from getting the grill turned off and I could smell this intense beefiness of this steak, and it looks like it's super tender.
Oh, it's very tender. I honestly just cut it in and I gasped because I'm like, I don't even really need a knife.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
The flavor of the beef is so prominent because of the aging, and it tenderizes it as well, so it literally melts in your mouth.
Holy cow.
That's an amazing steak.
Usually I have words. I'm not speechless much. And I know you know that because you're married to me. I'm speechless. I'm serious. Like this is the greatest steak I've ever had. This is juicy, tender. The beef flavor is very upfront because of the aging. The butter gives it that creamy texture. Perfectly cooked. That grill did an amazing job.
The fat is all rendered, and it's crispy on the outside because the grill gets hot enough to do it. What's amazing is it almost has a slight buttery flavor to it. I didn't put any butter on it, but it almost has that butter flavor to it.
It's honestly just the most enjoyable steak I've ever eaten.
You need to go butter age some steaks right now. There's no reason not to. It's easy to get the stuff at your local grocery store. Also, go to the link in the description box and pick up one of those grills because they are fantastic. With those 3 burners on it, it actually fits really well, and now it gives me the option to do this. I don't have a charcoal grill because I'm not allowed to have that here, but this propane grill does an incredible job, and they're very budget friendly.
They're budget friendly. They look really nice. Very easy to assemble and put together. Very durable. It looks really nice. And we've done these steaks, we've done burgers, we've done all kinds of stuff out on that grill. Yeah. And I have liked all of it. It is so good. I mean, we're using it now all the time. It's our new favorite thing.
If you don't have a grill, you need to go pick one up. But if you can't right now, or you don't have one, I understand. If you want a great steak like this, go butter age the steak. And in the meantime, use this steak technique right over here. This is Chris Cooking Nashville, the beautiful Ash Taylor. Eat your meat, especially when it's butter aged. Love your life. And we'll see you in the kitchen for crazy recipes just like this one.
I am so glad we're done filming because I'm about to plow through the rest of this steak.
I've eaten almost half of the steak already.
I can't stop.
It's so good.